Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samprabha Nirvignam Guru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ श्रीमेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थितदद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः. So namaste once again everyone.
Namaste Guruji.
Namaste. नमाम दुष्कृतिनो मूढ़ाः प्रबध्यन्ते नराधमाः माययापहृतज्ञानाः आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः. So we are seeing the 15th shloka of the 7th chapter. So after dealing with Ishvara Swarupam, the topic of Ishvara Swarupam, consisting of Para and Apara Prakriti, in the initial part of this chapter, Krishna pointed out that the cause of samsara or cause of human problems in the 13th verse. And the cause that he pointed out is the misplaced searching on the part of the human being, seeking security from the insecure objects of the world, seeking permanence from the impermanent objects of the world, seeking fulfillment from the finite objects of the world, seeking happiness from the sorrowful or sorrow-giving objects of the world. This misplaced seeking is the cause of all our miseries. And since our expectations are wrong expectations, and therefore they are never fulfilled in life, which in turn leads to depression, sorrow, grief, etc. And once I have diagnosed this problem, then I will go in the right direction in search of a solution. Now I realize that this apara prakriti cannot give security and fulfillment and permanence, and that para prakriti alone can give security and permanence. So thus, having discussed the samsara karanam in the 13th verse, Krishna started discussing the solution from the 14th verse onwards, which actually runs up to the verse number 19. So 14 to 19 is the solution. Samsara nivritti karanam. So what is the remedy for the problem of samsara? And this remedy, Krishna calls it Ishvara Praptihi, Ishvara Sharanagati, or Ishvara Bhaktihi. So devotion to the Lord is what Krishna is presenting as the solution. So naturally, our question is what? What is exactly bhakti is? What do you mean by bhakti? And therefore, he begins the topic of bhakti and starts elaborating on the topic and also dealing with various stages of bhakti. So, first, Krishna pointed out that many people do not turn to bhakti because they do not have sufficient punyam. You must have sufficient punyam for even turn to bhakti. And therefore, they all turn out to be nastikas. They don't believe in the existence of God even. They don't believe in God and therefore they turn away. But then there are some blessed ones. And because of their punyam, they turn towards God. Even though in the beginning stages, they do not know what exactly the nature of God is. And until we know the nature of God, scriptures temporarily present various forms of God for our worship. No, it is just like in mathematics. Typically, what we do, if we are asked to solve an equation, find the solution, we will say, suppose the solution is X. X is not the solution. It only represents the solution. And keeping that X, you start working out. And at the end, you find that the X is equal to so and so, etc. So similarly, we have got these personal gods or gods with forms, Ishtadevatas, which are like the X of mathematics. So until I know what exactly God is, I hold on to that Ishvara. I hold on to that X until I come to the last step where I am able to find out the value of X, what exactly X is, I am able to find out. And in the sloka that we were discussing in the last class, Krishna says the vicious and mean people who are deprived of their discrimination by Maya, who are deluded, and who have taken to demonic nature, they do not surrender to me. So he says, Mayaya apahrita jnana hai. So here, jnana refers to people with discrimination, vivekina. And apahrita literally means stolen away. But here we can translate it as carried away or who have lost. So apahrita jnana means those who have lost their discrimination, their viveka. And how did they lose their viveka? Mayaya, because of the power of Maya. So Maya entices them, lures them, and keeps them busy in the pursuit of artha and kama, money and entertainment. And in the process, they lose their viveka of all types. Nitya Anitya Viveka, Satyam Mithya Viveka, Atma Anatma Viveka. They lose all types of discrimination and become deluded. And then Krishna calls such people as Moodaha, utterly deluded. Delusion is taking the impermanent to be permanent. So we superimpose, those people superimpose permanency on the impermanent. Anityam nityatvena bhavayati atasmin tad buddhi adhyasa. So this is called adhyasa, superimposition. It's a very big topic, this adhyasa. In fact, if you want to reach the higher levels of Vedanta, one has to understand this adhyasa in depth. In fact, Brahma Sutra Bhashyam, the introduction with Adi Shankara gives is Adhyasa Bhashyam. And that is called Shobhana Adhyasa in the Shastra. So Shobhana Adhyasa means superimposition of the wrong things on the object. And therefore Mooda hai. And knowing very well that Maya will play its tricks and delude the person, Bhagavan has given gurus and shastra. As we saw in the 3rd chapter, Saha yajna praja srishtva purovacha prajapatihi. So, Bhagavan has given a manual, like the manuals we get along with all these gadgets, washing machine and what is that called? Microwave oven, etc. Whenever we buy a new one, we get a manual of instruction how to operate them. So similarly, when Bhagavan has created this world, created all the jivas, right in the beginning itself, he has provided a manual. What to do, what not to do, the do's and don'ts with regard to our life. So gurus and shastras are there, but then this mooda, this person, he will be arrogant. Mundaka Upanishad describes these people as avidyayam antare vartamana swayam dhira panditam manyamana. They think they are all very scholarly people, panditam manyamana. They do not know anything, but they think they know everything. So they will ask why I should have a guru, why I should study the scriptures. Sorry, excuse me. Because they think they know everything. And therefore, they do not take the help available for them, which help is in the form of gurus and shastra. And therefore, Krishna says, such people become Nara Adama hai. Nara Adama hai means the meanest people, the lowliest people among the human beings. And why they are Nara Adama hai? Because this human life can be used to purchase or accomplish the highest goal of moksha. But they miss that highest goal and they use that precious human life for what? Accomplishing ordinary things. One Swamiji compares, it is like using sandalwood as fuel for cooking. If you've gone to village houses and all, they have this, these chulas, what they call the, what's called in English, chulas? Stoves, not stove actually, it is.
Firewood stove, huh? Firewood.
Firewood.
Adupu is.
In Tamil it is adupu. I was looking for an English word. Maybe in English it is not there, who knows?
Right.
So that kind of a thing, people, you will use some not ordinary wood. You won't would use sandalwood for that fuel, isn't it? So similarly, this wonderful human life with which we can reach the highest goal, they are using it for getting the lowest of the things. And therefore, they are Nara Adamaha, indiscriminate people. And not only that, Krishna says, Asuram Bhavam Ashritaha. They get into all sorts of problems for themselves as well as others. Because when I use my life for procuring artha and kama, I will find that any amount I get, I will not be satisfied. As Kathopanishad says, na vittena tarpaniyaha manushyaha. Any amount we get, we will not be satisfied. And therefore, there is always an ambition, desire for more. As they say, there's a song, Ye dil mange more. And a time will come when we cannot fulfill our desires by legitimate earning because our earnings increase in a particular proportion. Say, if you are in a job, annual increments you will get, some bonuses you will get. But the increase of desire is not proportional. Every moment a new desire is born, and until we fulfill them, we are restless. In fact, people, in anticipation of the next year's increment or bonus, they would have gone ahead and purchased certain things on installments. Okay, I will now pay some small installment. Next year, when I get the bonus, I will pay it off fully. And what happens next year? Company declares that the company is running in a loss. So no bonus for anybody. What do you do? So this is what is the problem with this artha and kama. And that is why we require vairagyam. Anyway, so therefore a time will come when we clearly know earning by right means and fulfilling our desires will not work. And then we see around and we see many people who are able to fulfill all their desires by compromising on their values. And once we begin to see that fact, once your family says, what useless job you are doing, see the neighbor. In the last 5 years, he has not only bought a bungalow, a car, he has made 2 trips to America, and he is also in a similar job like you. His wife goes to the jewelry shop and saree shop and buys so many sarees and jewels, ornaments. So what kind of a useless person are you? In fact, those who know Tamil, I'm reminded of an old song.
Adutata Ambujata.
Adutata Ambujata. அவன் சம்பளம் பாதி கிம்பளம் பாதி வாங்குறாண்டி. So people start earning through all ways, legitimate, illegitimate ways, compromising on their values. So the pressure of desire is so much. And therefore, we get into some adjustment here, some there, cutting the corners, some compromise. Everybody is doing it. Why can't I also do it? Initially, there will be some guilt. But after we continue for some time, we will start even justifying it. If I don't do such things, no, I will be a fool. This is Kali Yuga. Everybody has to do such things. So, we do not mind doing anything for the sake of money. That is where we end up. Otherwise, you just look at it, evils like this match fixing, etc. Why should cricketers get involved in fixing the match when they otherwise earn so much through playing in IPL, advertisements, etc.? In fact, some of them would have earned or would be having an earning which can last for 4-5 generations. And once you get into this vice, it is almost impossible to recover also. And therefore, once life becomes arthakama pradhana, adharma will straightaway walk in. And Krishna calls it asurik swabhava. Ashrita hai asuram bhavam. They will gradually compromise with dharma. Later on, Krishna will explain what is this asuram bhavam in detail. We'll see it there. What are all the characteristics of these asuras? Asuras, we have been told in the Purana and all, they are demons, bad people and all. You don't need to go to see asuras anywhere. You look around, you can see only asuras. That is why all those people which Krishna will describe later, those qualities, whoever has got is a asura. That is how we have to understand. So, asuram bhavam, ashrita hai asuram bhavam. And because of that, na prabadhyante mam. They do not surrender to me. Means they turn away from bhakti. And where will this all lead to? If you remember 3rd chapter, Krishna said, Kama yesha krodha yesha rajo guna samudbhava mahashano mahapapma vidyena miha vairinam. So all these problems will come. And therefore, they are the most unfortunate people who are having, who turn away from bhakti after having gained all opportunities, free will, shastra, guru, temples, everything is there, full infrastructure is there. But those people, as they call it, drunk with their arrogance, they don't even go anywhere near the Lord. And they will argue also, prove that their God exists and all that. Whereas there are some people who are punyavan. And Krishna talks about those people in the next verse. Verse number 16. Chatur vidha bhajante mam jana sukriti norjuna arto jingyasurartarti jnani cha bharatarshabha. So the Anvaya of this sloka is, Hey Arjuna, Chatuhu vidaha sukritinah janah bhajante mam artah artarti jignasuhu cha jnani. Hey Bharatarshava. So hey Arjuna, O Arjuna, Chaturvidaha, 4 types. Sukritinah janah, virtuous people. People who do the right things, noble deeds. dharmic people, bhajante mam, surrender to me. And who are those people? Krishna classifies them into 4 categories. Artha, the distressed. Artharthi, the seeker of wealth. Jignasuhu, the seeker of knowledge. Chagyani, and the wise person. Hey Bharatarshaba, O Arjuna. We have earlier seen the meaning of Bharatarshaba. Why Arjuna is called Bharatarshaba. You can refer to your notes. So, O Arjuna, 4 types of virtuous people surrender to me. That is, come to bhakti. The distressed, the seeker of wealth, the seeker of knowledge, and the wise people, O Arjuna. So here, Krishna provides the contrast with the type of people who were described in the 15th shloka. He says, in contrast with the type of people who have got the asuram bhavam, there are some other people who have got some punyam. So, hey Arjuna, sukritinaha janaha, as opposed to dushkritinaha in the previous verse. Dushkriti are abhaktas. Sukritinaha are bhaktas. And these bhaktas can be classified into 4 types. Chaturvidaha, based on their motive, based on their purpose. We can classify all the devotees into 4 types. And what are those 4 types? Krishna lists. Number 1, Artaha. They are called crisis bhaktas. Crisis bhaktas means what? When there is a crisis, not for the Lord, when there is a crisis for them, suddenly devotion comes from nowhere. All along they will not think about Bhagavan at all. But suddenly some problem has come. Some disease they are afflicted with. They go to some medical checkup, the doctor says this big problem you have got. Whatever is the disease. Then they will start praying, oh Lord, somehow please cure me of all my disease. Or in some other cases, they will say, oh Lord, I am struggling to get a suitable match to marry off my son or daughter. Please help me to find a suitable match. As if Bhagavan is some astrologer. Oh Lord, I find myself in a mess of my own doing. This is one more category of people. I accept my fault, but please rescue me. Please somehow take me out of this mess. And then what they do, they don't stop there. They offer what is very, very famous, trying to bribe God. And if you do that, all these things, save me, rescue me, help me find a suitable match, or get me rid of this disease, I will give you this, I will give you that. So they have a contract immediately, they offer a contract to Bhagavan. So you can either call it crisis bhakti or contract bhakti. Business bhakti. I give you something, you give me something. Or in fact, other way. First you give me, then I give you. Sakama bhakti. Commercial bhakti. But there is nothing wrong in this. Nothing wrong. I'm not criticizing it. This is how actually bhakti starts. It's good. So there is nothing wrong in this. And Krishna calls them Artaha, a person in distress, in difficulty. In fact, in Mahabharata, it comes that Kunti asked Krishna, oh Lord, give me continuous problems so that I will never forget you. So similarly, whether God is giving the problem or not, or whether we are creating the problems on our own, which is what always happens, surrendering to God for solution is bhakti. And starting bhakti, first stage. And in fact, this starts from childhood itself. Whenever we have a tough subject or examination, we have not studied properly, or even if we have studied properly. Because normally, students who get good marks, they adopt certain strategy. They will not study the whole book. They will, during the school studies, they will know which is important, which is not very important. And they are also very smart. They think that they will know that out of 10 questions, at least 2, 3 questions will be optional questions. So I can just skip them. Choice questions will be there. So they will skip some chapters and they will prepare the remaining chapters. Sometimes even teachers, they will tell, you can skip all these chapters, no question will come from the chapter, because the teacher who is going to set the question paper. Once the teacher has, but the teachers have also got a hidden agenda. If a teacher has got some, let us say 40 students in a class and majority of them fail, teacher has got a problem with the job. So what teacher will do? He or she will try to see that maximum number of students pass the examination. So they will give them some clues and all before the exam. But despite all this, most students, what they will do before going to the examination, on the way they will go to some temple. And most important, they will not go to big temples. Some roadside temple, some temples under a banyan tree and all. So many are there. In India, everywhere you go, you find such temples. Because you can just stand on the road itself, pray there quickly and leave. So that is all for what? Please save me from the exam. No, please help me in passing this exam. Please help me so that only the questions which I have studied come in the examination, etc. And it is not only with students, in Puranas also, we have got so many examples. In fact, there is a text called Narayana Ashtakam, composed by, I think, Adi Shankaracharya. That text, that sloka goes, Vatsalyat Abhaya Pradana Samayat Artharti Nirvapanat Audaryat Agashoshanat Aganita Shreya Padaprapanat Sevya Sripati Reka Yeva Jagatam Santyatra Shat Sakshinaha Prahladascha Vibhishanascha Karirat Panchalya Halyaha Dhruvaha Artratrana Parayanaha Sa Bhagavan Narayano Me Gatihi. So we have got this in the Shastra also 6 examples. How Bhagavan, if you pray to them, pray to him, if you appeal to him, if you ask him for help, he will help you. So 6 examples are given in this sloka. A Lord will rescue a person when he is in distress. And if that person surrenders to the God, that is the condition. And therefore, Lord has a special title, Artatrana Parayanaha Narayanaha. So, crisis management, Bhagavan. And who are the examples? Prahlada, Vibhishana, Karirat. Karirat means Gajendra. Bhagavatam, Gajendra Moksha. Then Panchali, Ahalya, and Dhruva. All these examples are there. So when we read all these Puranas, these stories and all that, we will immediately go to Bhagavan and say, I am surrendering to you, please save me. So that is Bhakta number 1. Artha Bhakta. The second one is Artharthi Bhakta. I am changing the order because there he said Artha, Jignasu, Artharthi, but just changing the order for convenience. So this is Artharthi. This person is not a crisis Bhakta. He does not look forward for a crisis for Bhakti. Whenever he starts something, a business or something or the other, even a train journey or a flight, and he wants to get profit or benefit, then he goes to the Lord. So the first one is Artha Bhakta is Dukkha Nivartakam or Dukkha Nivarti Artham Bhakti. The second one is Sukha Prapti Artham. So one for removal of a problem, another is for getting something, or either getting something or getting rid of something. Sukha Prapti Artham. He is called a Artharthi. So when the business starts, he does some special puja and all that. Or even, film actors, when there's a producer, when he starts shooting for a film, he will do some puja. A drama, people do some puja. Why? Because the film should do well, the drama should do well, bringing a lot of money, big profit. And in that puja, they will have a big photo of Lakshmi and all. Saraswati will be nowhere seen there. Only big Lakshmi Devi, a special photo with a huge pot. The Lakshmi Devi will be having a pot in her hand, pot full of gold coins. And those gold coins will be shown as if they are all falling down. Right underneath the table on this photo is kept. So this person can visualize the gold coins. So from Sakshat Lakshmi's hands falls all the gold coins on his table. So this is another type of bhakti. Artharthi bhakti. Arthi means desire, artha means wealth. So one who is desirous of wealth, profit, position, fame, etc. is the second type of bhakta. Artharthi bhakta. And both of them, Artha bhakta and Artharthi bhakta together, we call them Manda bhakta. Both these people have got bhakti, but it is a Sakama bhakti. There is some nimittam for the bhakti. Their interest is not in the Bhagavan. They are only using God for getting what they are interested in. So God is not an end for them. God is only a means. And if you are asked, what do you love more, the means or the end? Of course, all of us will love the end more, isn't it? And that is why we don't bother about the means. We use right means, wrong means, but the end should be achieved. Because once the end is accomplished, the means is also given up. And if there are some alternative means, we will give up this means also. And therefore, for them, for both these people, God is a disposable commodity. Till such time, the next crisis or the next project for making money comes up. So, Artha and Artharthi Bhakti. Next comes the third type of Bhakta. Jigyasu Bhakta, the one who is interested in knowing more about God and attaining the God. God himself, he wants to attain the God. So Jigyasu Bhakta is a person for whom God is the goal, not a means. And therefore, God is very dear to them as compared to anything else. And we call this type of bhakti as Madhyama Bhakti, otherwise called Nishkama Bhakti. His bhakti is for bhakti's sake, not for the sake of any problem or any earning money, wealth. So he does not ask for this and that. He says, "Oh Lord, I want you and you alone, nothing else. And for getting you, Bhagavan, I am ready to sacrifice everything else also." This is the Jigyasu Bhakti, Jigyasu Bhakta, the third type. And the fourth and final variety is our hero, Jnani Bhakta. Jnani Bhakta means the Bhakta who has discovered that the Lord is not away from me. Jnani Bhakta is one who has accomplished the Lord. And he is the Uttama Bhakta, the highest Bhakta, for whom God is neither a sadhanam, a means, nor sadhyam, the end. For him, he is siddha, which means he is already accomplished. I am myself siddha, aham brahmasmi, wherein the seeker becomes identical with the sought. So this is the fourth type of bhakta, Jnani Bhakta. Now here, Krishna has presented these four as four types of people or four types of bhaktas. But we can read the same words from another angle also. Not as four types of bhaktas, but four stages of bhakti in one and the same person. So instead of four different types of bhaktas, we can say one and the same person goes through these four stages of bhakti. Initially, I start my bhakti as artha and artharthi for dukkha nivritti and sukha prapti. And as I said, Lord is a means and these material ends are the goals. Then once I use the Lord for bhakti for material ends, after some time, I become more mature. And the maturity is I understand that the worldly things cannot give me security, fulfillment, and happiness. And once I have understood the limitations of the world, I continue to be a bhakta, but I am no longer a sakama bhakta, but I become a nishkama bhakta, where my goal becomes God. So this is my own evolution in the bhakti ladder. And then I become curious. I want to learn more about Bhagavan, because that is my goal. So I become a Jigyasu Bhakta, the one who is really informed to a great extent. So for a Jigyasu Bhakta, certain factors are very, very clear. The first clarity I get is that God alone can give me security and happiness, and I have no doubt about this. Then the second factor is that, which is very clear, is that God can be accomplished only in terms of jnanam. Accomplishing God is not a physical event. It is not a travel in time. Accomplishment of God is in terms of knowledge. Because once I understand God is all pervading, Sarvavyapi, he is Vishnu. I do not have to travel for reaching the all-pervading God. But previously, in my ignorance, I thought God is a person sitting somewhere in Vaikuntha, Kailasha and all. But now, I have got sufficient knowledge that God is omnipresent. And therefore, why should I travel to reach the omnipresent God? Wherever I am, God is there. And therefore, what I require is not a physical journey, but what I require is a discovery of the Lord who is here and now. And this discovery alone is called accomplishment of God. And therefore, Ishvara Praptihi is equal to what? Ishvara Jnana Praptihi. Previously, I said I want God. Now I say I want knowledge of God. And that is why this person is called Jignasuhu. Jignasuhu means desirer of the knowledge of God. Then the third important factor is there. Jignasu Bhakta is a very evolved Bhakta. You must remember all these steps, because this has been very beautifully explained with Swami Paramarthananda, which is what I am sharing with you. So first he knows I want God alone, and then he knows I want God knowledge alone. Then he also knows that Ishvara Jnanam is possible only in a purified mind. So he knows that for Ishvara Jnanam, I need to purify my mind. And therefore, I want God. And for that purpose, I want knowledge of God. And for that purpose, I want purity of mind. And therefore, Jigyasu Bhakta continues to be a religious person, but he uses religion for purity of the mind. And this conversion is a conversion of a religious person into a spiritually religious person. In all the pujas he does, when he does the sankalpam, his sankalpam is different. He doesn't ask for dhanam, dhanyam, pashum, putram and all that. His sankalpam is very simple. Parameshwara Prityartham or Narayana Prityartham, Loka Kshemartham, Chitta Shuddhyartham cha. He does all his prayers devoted only for three purposes. That may God be pleased and protect this world. Make everybody happy, prosperous, and also purify my mind. Chitta Shuddhyartham. So this person, from a religious person, he converts into a spiritually religious person. Now some people may have this doubt. What is the difference between religious person and spiritual person? Because we have got two types of religious people. Materialistic religious people and spiritual religious people. Artha Bhakta and Artharthi Bhakta. These two are of bhaktas and they have bhakti all right. But they are materialistically religious. Because they use religion for materialistic purpose. Whereas Jigyasu Bhakta is also a religious person, but he uses religion for purity of the mind. Every puja he does, every namaskara he does, every temple he visits, he utilizes this for the purity. And what will purity lead to? Jnanam. Jnanam is meant for what? Attainment of God. And attainment of God is meant for what? For getting Purnatvam and security. And therefore, Jignasu Bhakta, in the language of Bhagavad Gita, becomes a Karma Yogi or is a Karma Yogi. So a Karma Yogi means a spiritually religious person. Jignasu Bhakta, being a Karma Yogi, is a spiritually religious person, whereas a Karmi, the one who is materialistically driven, is a materialistically driven religious person, ordinary religious person. And this Jignasu Bhakta, having gained sufficient purity of mind, later becomes Jnana Yogi, for getting what? Jnanam. Therefore, Karma Yogi is a Jignasu Bhakta. Jnana Yogi is a Jnana Bhakta. The one who is pursuing knowledge. So even a Jnana Yogi, we can call it Jignasu Bhakta because he is a spiritually religious person and he wants only Ishvara Jnanam and Ishvara Prapti. And therefore we can call that person as both Karma Yogi and Jnana Yogi. Of course, various stages are there. First Karma Yoga stage, purity of mind, and then once he has gained sufficient purity, he enters Jnana Yoga, enters Shravanam, study of scriptures under a competent guru. And this stage, the third stage, this Jigyasu Bhakta stage, the travel is a very long travel. Where Karma Yoga for purification of the mind is not something it can be done in a day or two. It will in fact take months or even years. So he is a Karma Yogi, Jigyasu Bhakta, and after purification, he goes through Jnana Yoga. So Jnana Yoga, as I said, means study of scriptures for gaining Ishvara Jnanam. Remember, Ishvara Jnanam means gaining Jnanam of both Apara Prakriti and Para Prakriti. And that is also a long drawn affair. Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam, all these things. And finally, he will get, after all this, he will get converted into what? Jnani Bhakta hai. So, having successfully completed Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, the Jignasu Bhakta gets converted into a Jnani Bhakta. He has discovered the Lord. And what is the discovery of the Lord? The discovery is that the Lord is never away from me. And therefore, since the Lord is never away from me, Dvaita Bhakti gets converted into Advaita Bhakti. I am never away from the Lord. The Lord is never away from me. Therefore, Artha hai, Jignasuhu, Artharthi, Jnani, these four can be understood as four levels of bhakti, which everyone has to undergo. And since everyone has to go through these four levels, we need not feel bad if we are at present an Artha Bhakta. Because Krishna says everyone has to go through these four levels. As a kid, as a 5-year-old kid, you will, 5 or 6-year-old, I don't know what is the age now, you will go to get admitted to the primary school, the first standard. Just because somebody else is there in the PhD level, why should you get worried? Why should you feel bad? You will also reach there. But you have at least entered the school. You are not sitting at home and whiling your time away. So I should not feel if I am feel bad if I am an Artha Bhakta. Now, some people have got a doubt. They say, I have already come to the last stage. Whether rightly come or wrongly come, we don't know, shortcut and all. But come to, I am doing Shravanam, I am studying, I am attending Gita classes and all that. Can I go to temple and all? Can I still continue with my puja? Pray for removal of some diseases? Or pray for the settlement of my children's marriage? Or pray for promotion in the office, etc. This kind of doubts, people have got. Our people, that is the beauty of our religion, our culture. Yeah, lot of people, lot of doubts. No other religion people can have any doubt or even ask any doubt. What you are told, you just accept it and get along with your life. That's it. So even after reaching this stage of Shravanam, Mananam, etc., there is nothing wrong in continuing to be an Artha Bhakta or an Artharthi Bhakta. You can go to a temple, you can also offer a prayer that if this disease goes away, I will do Tulabharam or Anga Pradakshinam, etc. You need not feel any inferiority complex. You can happily be an Artha Bhakta. But what Krishna wants to emphasize here through these 4 stages is, do not be permanently an Artha Bhakta. You have to keep growing gradually. Entering Artha Bhakti is not a problem, but permanently sticking to only Artha Bhakti is a problem. Even after reaching Jnani Bhakti, of course, a Jnani will not pray for himself. You can still pray to Bhagavan for Lokakshemam. So and so is suffering. Well, we see many people come and say, so I'm having this problem, Guruji, please pray for me, isn't it? I pray. That prayer is Artha Bhakta. I can't give him a lecture. No, God is everywhere. There is no need to pray. You are the Tattvamasi, so you will be all right. All this karma is what is, giving you the results. All that I will not say. I will tell that person, don't worry. I will actually, console him. He'll say, I will pray for you. Special prayer I will offer. I will go to the temple and offer a special prayer. Hey, Bhagavan, please make this person okay. So there is some desire involved in that. So the point is you have to keep growing gradually. As I said, Artha Bhakti is not a problem. Sticking to Artha Bhakti is a problem. Permanently sticking. Therefore, enter Artha Bhakti, gradually become Artharthi Bhakta. Then graduate to become a Jigyasu Bhakta. And then gradually become Jnani Bhakta. And our scriptures are so generous. You can take as many janmas for you as you want for that. There is no great hurry. So in this whole janma, you can be an Artha Bhakta. Nothing wrong. At least in the next janma, try to become Artharthi Bhakta. In every janma, use your free will to make progress and try to finish all stages in at least minimum 4 janmas. Therefore, never feel bad to ask anything to the Lord. You can ask, but your aim should be transcending one level to another. Now in the next sloka, Krishna makes a profound statement. We will just read the sloka and then continue the discussion in the next class. Okay. Tesham yani nitya yukta eka bhaktir visishyate priyo hi jnani notyartham aham sacha mama priya hai. This is the 17th sloka. We will discuss it in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaste. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om. Thank you. Thank you, Guruji. No hands are going up, so apparently no questions are there.
Namaste, Guruji. I was finding it difficult to unmute.
Okay.
Am I okay, or I don't want to hold you from anything, Guruji?
No, that's okay.
Okay. I can see from your background that you're back home in Mumbai.
Yeah. That
But
is
then,
another thing. Like I Parivrajaka, I become, I keep on traveling. Because one place you stay for a long time, you become attached to it. Just joking.
Yes. Yeah.
But then with compulsions, this month I have to perform my father's Shraddham, etc.
Okay.
I came here. Month end or early March, I'll go back to Coimbatore. Go on like that. First time, I prefer to be more in Coimbatore than in Bombay.
Yeah. Thank you, Guruji. I'm not sure whether I should say this is a doubt or more of a dilemma. I was re-listening to what was covered during the last class, and there even I was of the same thought when you were saying that is it in the Kathopanishad that Lord is blamed for our not going in the right path, because he is the one who has created the apara, and he is all our senses keep going only to apara. So he is who is responsible for our not trying to go in the. But then also it is that's what exactly I was thinking. Para is it is it is changeless and nirguna nirakara, and you cannot actually experience it, and on its own it's not of much use unless you have the apara, where you have the nama rupa and guna thing. But what it's also meaningful, but at the same time Sri Krishna calling that some people are adhamas or whatever because they don't think of turning to me, because they're all caught in the apara. But he himself says it is difficult to get out of the clutches of the apara because of my maya and because of the trigunas. So he has created the maya, he has created the trigunas, and then he says it's very difficult to cross over it, and to get bhakti is difficult. Everything he has created, but then he calls some people adharma, somehow it, and making it so difficult.
He doesn't say apara, he says adharma.
Adharma, and the adharma also in one of the other shlokas, I think some other word he used, demonical people. He says demonical
Asuram
people.
bhavam, he says, right? Asuram is what adharmic people, right?
Yeah. No, my question is, you make it so difficult to cross or to get, and so you fill the world with more and more people who are adhamas or demonical, and make it so difficult, and then you sit and watch people struggle. Somehow it appears is very sadistic. I'm sorry I'm using these
No,
words.
it is not sadistic. It is presenting the realistic situation
Mm.
where you will have to. It's not easy. I mean, many people think, okay, I've done 3 years, 5 years, Gurukulam I spent and all, I have become a Jnani. That is not easy. To come to that stage and get rid of what is samsara. Samsara is nothing but Maya.
Yes.
Samsara is nothing. That is why it is very enticing, it's very luring, I mean, we get caught willy-nilly. Even a Jnani can get sometimes by mistake get caught in this Maya. To be Jnani, to abide in that Jnanam, that Aham Brahmasmi is not an easy thing. And Krishna wants to emphasize that by giving all these things.
Okay.
Even Kathopanishad also, it is more in terms of, what it says is that, okay, you need not feel guilty about what you are doing. Correct?
Mm.
You can, to begin with, blame Bhagavan. Okay. Children, they do, isn't it?
Yeah.
My children do. All that we are today is because of you only.
Mm.
You have given your genes to us, so we have got the problems. You have given all the, you have brought us up, all habits and all, is all because of you only. So they, but of course, when they say that, they are not criticizing. Their way of actually accepting that, respecting the father. So similarly, in Kathopanishad also, Bhagavan says, okay. Yamadharma Raja says, okay, I agree. Because Bhagavan has actually made all these things outward.
Yeah.
That is why all the 5 sense organs go outward and seek all the sense objects.
Yeah.
But you have to overcome Nachiketas, all these things. Develop enough Vairagyam. Develop enough Viveka Shakti, discrimination to know what is real, what is unreal. So all that is there. That is how we have to understand, interpret, and imbibe this knowledge. We should take it in totality and not individual.
Not in bits and pieces.
Yeah, we should not individual sentences. Oh, Krishna said there, said that there, here it is saying there, and all that. Overall, what is the message that Krishna wants to convey? That's what we should say. Krishna accepts that it's difficult. I mean, that's why he says crossing this Maya is not easy. And that is why, how many people, very few handful of people are able to do that. Question is whether you want to be in that boat or not. That is it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Guruji. Thank you very
That's
much.
okay.
Hari
Hari.
Hari.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you very much. Thank you all.